Time for Outside the Box.
You're an athletic trainer for close to 25 years. Welcome to the show tonight, Corey Courtney.
Thank you, Rocky. You're good at this. You could throw a headset on the bench and call a game, I think.
I'm not good at calling the game, but I can do this.
In trouble.
I can do this. I got a lot of action with the sports drive in Amarillo, and so I got kind of good at it. They always told me if I ever quit coaching, there's a future in radio, which I don't know if that means I've got one of those radio faces. The guy next to you actually does TV, and we've got another special guest with us tonight. He's the director of player development for the Lincoln Stars in his spare time. He does TV for the San Jose Sharks pre and post game. He coaches and runs the San Jose Sharks youth program. And he played a little bit in the National Hockey League. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But welcome to the show, Curtis Doc Brown.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Rocky. This is quite an honor. Where's the rundown? Because you didn't fit all that stuff inside your memory bank, or did you?
I did.
Well
Cristiano gives me a script every week, and I never read it. Don't tell him that. He's probably listening. I didn't say that, Cristiano, but I'm busy, right? I got a lot of other stuff going on, and I just like to come on here and talk. And usually I let him carry the conversation. I think that maybe I should be the one carrying the conversation, quite frankly.
I think so.
Well, it's getting late for Corey and I, but now I know why you were so excited to run in here. How old are your kids?
I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old. They're both up. It's bedtime. My 4-month-old had shots today, her 4-month shots. The 2-year-old was cranky because she didn't sleep well last night. So I gave my wife a kiss and a little bit of
grabbed the truck keys and came to the radio show.
I'm out.
That's why you're doing an extra hour tonight.
He's got the extra large caffeine can there
yes,
for later when the kids are up.
So I'm happy to be at the radio show. My wife's an angel. God bless her.
Aren't they all?
They are.
Like we could stop and do a whole show on that.
Well, you've got to have the right woman in your life if you're going to do what we do, whether it's Corey's job, obviously, or your job as a player. And now after the fact, me as a coach, I've lived all over the country. And you certainly, a couple different stops in the National Hockey League, finally settled in San Jose. So, you've got to have a very supportive person in your life that is behind the scenes really making everything
supportive
run.
Or in some cases, people will question them often at why they're
sanity.
With you and I.
Yes.
I've had a few of them in sports. So.
Hey, this is just true. Like we're giving plugs for the better halves of all of our lives and allowing us to talk hockey here for, what is this, a 3 or 4 hour program? We're just getting warmed up.
It probably would be if they let us go, but Ethan's good at shutting us off at about an hour. So I wanted to bring Corey on because Corey's got such a an in-depth look at Lincoln Stars hockey in a way that nobody else does, right? And he's been through every coach in the program. He's been through all the players. He's been through David Perron and Grant Patolny and Zach Aston Reese and all these guys that have moved on to play in the National Hockey League or become Grant's now the head coach at Northern Michigan. And so tell us a little bit about, your experience, Corey, both just as in your job, but more importantly, what it's like to watch these young men come through here as 16-year-old kids, leave as men, and then to see them go on and have such great careers.
I think you've hit it right in the head, and that's part of the reason why I think I've stuck around for the full 28 years now in the USHL, 23, 24 with Stars. But watching these guys develop and being a part of that, I think, is what makes it worth it. These guys, they're not just playing games. I know the fans come out and see the games. They know we practice, but I don't think they know how much they put into it, how much you guys put into it as a staff or even myself as far as behind the scenes stuff. But these guys are there all day. It's a full-time job for them. They're trying to balance school. They're trying to balance hockey, somewhat of a social life. So they're mature young men. I mean, they're not your basic 17 to 20-year-olds. It's shocking talking to them. They all have goals. They're all, driven, and which makes it fun. It makes it fun to be around and watching them. In the past, it used to be we'd have them for 2 or 3 years. Now it's 1 or 2 and they're done. But just that 1 year, watching their development, watching their maturity, watching them get better on the ice and better off the ice as kids and young men is what makes it all fun.
And you've got a front row seat for all of this stuff. And, I love the comment you made about how there's so much more than just hockey players. I mean, Noah Laba, for instance, runs his own business. He's got an online business where he sells clothing, and he's trying to get his realtor's license right now. And I mean, this is an 18-year-old kid who hasn't even started college yet that has his eyes on the future above and beyond just National Hockey League career. And you're very fortunate, even more so than the coaches, because you get to develop relationships on a different level with these guys. They trust their health to you, their strength to you. They come to you and they probably talk to you about things that they don't even talk to us about. And so I think people don't realize how vital your role is to the success of our program.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line there. I try to, establish myself as that dad figure. These guys are all from, all over the place, different countries sometimes and all over the map. And some of them have been away from home for years. People don't realize that either. Some of these kids have to leave when they're 10, 11, or 12 to start playing. And they've been away from home for a long time already. And then some of these other guys, it's their first time and away from their girlfriends, away from their dogs, their best friends. So, there's a lot there. There's a lot can go wrong. There's a lot of things you can do some consoling about. So again, that makes it worth it getting to know them on that level. I think it also helps in the gym. It also helps the training room and establishing that trust, that bond, and understanding, their pain tolerance, their drive. If a guy's, the guys that are really hurt, there's no question. The guys that might just need a day off here and there and kind of still need to spoon feed them a little bit, but then give them a push back quick because they're able to go. So, but getting to know them on a personal level definitely helps that.
Now, Curtis, you have kind of gone full circle with this because you played junior hockey and advanced your career. You were one of the fortunate guys that made it to the National Hockey League and had a career at that level. And then you had kids, and now you're watching your kids go through this, right? You've got a boy in Sioux City, obviously playing against us. Rivals for sure. And Garrett Brown, and then your other boy plays up in Alaska. So tell us about what it's like to go through the process as a player and now being able to be a father figure and watch your sons go through it.
He scored against us last game too, didn't he?
He made a really nice assist. A really nice pass to Lutke, of course. We have Griffin's younger brother Tanner here as an affiliate that'll be joining us when his high school season's over. So there was a Lincoln connection there on that goal. Made me even more angry to boot. But tell us about what it's like, obviously, as a player and now as a father.
Oh my. Well, I started playing the game growing up in Western Canada. It was funny because before the show, we were talking about where we grew up or some different locations. I grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan, Western Canada, where you either
It's not cold there at all, is it?
right now, anything that we all have together, we could bundle up and we'd be too cold. Put that on for size. It was minus 40 like 10 days ago. Has it ever been minus 40 here?
Not in my experience. And if it
Maybe
is,
back
I'm
in the
leaving.
Ice Age.
If it is, I'm leaving.
Maybe
Like,
back in the Ice Age. So we did a couple, there was 2 seasons, right? Summer and winter. And I guess you could throw farming in there. And any chance we got, the religion was to play hockey. We played knee hockey, roller hockey, ball hockey, hand hockey, and then of course in the winter ice hockey. And we really did it for the love of the game. And when I say that, obviously now you see hockey is a big business at the highest level. It's a huge business.
it's a big business at this level, right?
At all
we see
levels.
that. Yeah.
Even from the time I came through junior, right? And so it was just the love of the hockey and the love of the game, and you just wanted to play it because your buddies did, and you wanted, quite frankly, I think I came from a generation of people that we just wanted to be our best at whatever we did. Why? Because you took pride in that. And it just so happened that we had a lot of support in the hockey world to keep doing it. Never did I think, well, if I just take an extra shot or stay a little longer, that I could actually make it to the NHL. I never looked that far down the road. I just knew what my grandpa said is there's always somebody better. Keep working. And that's what I did. And one day, you kind of look around and you're like, I might have a chance at this thing. And so you just keep on doing what you know to do. And that's trying to outwork everybody that you look in the eyes, especially coming during a time when I would have been considered a little bit undersized, maybe at 6 feet tall. There was like monsters. Corey would remember guys coming through 6'5". It was more like WWE, and they could hang on to you. The game's changed a lot.
Oh, the clutching and grabbing is gone. They've opened up the game. They've created a more fast, skilled game. The game is faster now than it's ever been. But I believe that there was an element to the game that us guys appreciate in your era, and in regards to the honesty of the hockey that was played at that point.
It was different, and not better, different.
Yes.
There's some things better today that we love, and there's some things that we wish we could turn the clock back on. But to be able to do that for many years, like, what a great honor, really. I've thought about this many times, whether you play as a youth or whether you get to play at the highest level, the game owes us nothing. And the sooner that the kids playing now understand that really every day is a gift. Like, for these kids to come in and play at this high level, it's a gift. Not everybody gets, it's a privilege, not a right. They've earned it. And now what are they going to do tomorrow to earn another day? Right. It's dog eat dog. It's the best play in this league. So I played in a different junior league, but many of the same characteristics. And then you mentioned I have 3 boys, and I'm not going to lie to you. I love the game so much. It's a disease, probably a little bit more contagious than anything else. I can't get enough. Like, I leave here, I want to go back to San Jose, get in the rink, and then I'll go watch the Sharks. And then I'll come back and I'll call you late at night because I'm 3 hours earlier, and I'll talk hockey with you. And so for my kids just to love the game and want to do it is just it's a joy and a treat. I've been able to coach them all. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but I have the passion to be there. I've learned a lot on the other side, trying to see the game from a different angle. And then you guys mentioned my 2 oldest left the house this fall, which is the biggest change ever. And so now only my 14-year-old is under the roof. The other 2 are off playing junior hockey. And now I'm a dad. Like, I'll just try to be there for support. Obviously, if they ask my opinion, but they have coaches, they have mentors, like both of you guys are on the day-to-day. Like, Rocky, you see these guys every day. You know them in this period of their life better than their parents. And you have such an impact on where they can go, not in hockey. That's great if they can continue to do that. But how about life? And then Corey, you as well, right? You spend so many hours around these people. And so when I look back, I know that there's special people watching over my boys in the hockey world that you hope, and I know in these cases, they're just great humans. They care about as much as their development off the ice is on the ice. That's what they need. Just like, so I can come alongside, support them as a parent, and maybe for once be the nice guy.
And you've got a pretty unique situation here. Obviously, you take a backseat dad role with your two older boys now because they're in different programs. And then, Alberto buys the Lincoln Stars this year. You've got an existing relationship with him and Tyler, and all of a sudden you're thrust into a role as a player development guy in the same league that Garrett's playing for, having the opportunity to have that same type of impact on 23 other guys in the league. And so you might not be able to do it day in and day out with your kids outside of being a father and what have you. But here you are now having the chance to do it with this new group. I think that's got to be pretty cool.
It's one. I use the word privilege for the kids to play. It's a privilege for me to be here at this level to learn from you guys. And I step into any situation hoping to learn so that I can share. I think that's the greatest thing about life is you surround yourself with smarter people and then you'll get smarter or better people and you become more like them. And honestly, the juggling part was the hardest part. Deciding to come and be a part was easy. I made that decision. That was my first decision. Yes, I want to be a part of that. Not knowing what value that I could bring or how the players would see it or maybe how the coaches would see it. Me just giving my perspective. Maybe it's right sometimes, maybe it's wrong, but it's different. And the more that you get to know these young men, it takes me back to some of the people that made a huge difference in my life. Some of them on the ice and some of them off the ice. As Corey, you mentioned, these guys are living with billets. They're on their own maybe for the first time. They really look up to the support system they have, and that's our responsibility.
So Corey, you've obviously been here for good years. You've been here for bad years. There's been a little bit of a downturn in the last few years. Not a whole lot of playoff success. What does the group we have this year have in common with some of the teams in the past that you feel like were successful teams that had a chance to really make a run at a championship?
I think a little bit of it, excuse me, you can see a little bit of swagger. And I don't mean that as cockiness or walking to the rink like we're going to win every day, but I think you can feel it on the bench. We could be down 2 with 4 minutes left and there's no panic. I don't ever see these guys quit. They don't die. I think teams in the past, I know 1 year, I think we lost 6 games all year and none in regulation at home. And Steve Johnson kept pumping the fact that you guys can't let them get up by 2 every game or 3 every game. There's one game that's going to bite you where you're not going to be able to come back. But we did every game. Preston Callender, Brandon Bochinski, they'd go out and have 2 apiece, and we'd come back and we'd win all those games. And ironically, the very last game of the year, and we did a crossover year that year, Omaha was playing here for the finals, and we had the momentum. We were all over them, and I mentioned this to you the other day on the road, and glass broke. It was like a 20-25 minute delay, and after that glass broke, it just switched the other direction, and they pumped us, and we couldn't come back. And that was the one game I heard it screaming through my ears on the bench. There's going to be that one game where you're not going to be able to come back, and they gave it their all. It just puck luck sometimes isn't on your side, and they just couldn't come back. So I see that confidence, I see that swagger, and I see the no panic in this group. I also see them buying in. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job, and I've heard compliments every day, and that made a lot of sense. I'm glad we're doing it this way, or I think with the assistants we have, they do a great job of breaking down, explaining stuff, and going over video with these guys, so that can help build that confidence a little bit more. But I think that's one thing I see in this team that's a little bit different, is that they believe in themselves, and hopefully that continues going through. We got a full team back. We win 2 games and build off of that confidence. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Your story there reminds me of a few years back. We had a really, really good club in Amarillo, and they used to drive me nuts because they would just flip it on when they wanted to flip it on, and they would go pop 3 or 4 and we would win. And I remember coming in the locker room and flipping the light switch on and off, on and off, on and off. And they're looking at me like I'm nuts. And I'm like, guys, you flip this thing on and off too much, the bulb's going to burn out for you at the wrong time. Like, this thing needs to go on and it needs to stay on. And if we keep it on all the time, it's going to burn bright and it's going to be really, really impressive. If not, it's gonna burn out at the wrong time. And the analogy there was like, let's just keep the pedal down. Let's play all the time and let's do things right. And I think our group this year is learning that. And we saw that with this past weekend. Obviously, nobody knows the weekend before we battled, basically ravaged with the flu, our whole team, and played a really good game in Sioux City, fell a little short, fell flat on Saturday and at home against Sioux Falls. And then we roll it back this weekend and we get 2 really big, important wins on the road. And so we're going into a big weekend coming up. We've got Waterloo on Friday. We've got Des Moines on Saturday. We've got an unbelievable night on Friday. It's called Crossover Night. We've got a bunch of UNL Big Red student athletes coming in. Casey Rogers, junior defensive lineman from the football team. Kyle Perry, senior left-handed pitcher from the baseball team. Garrett Nelson, junior outside linebacker. Ty Robinson, senior defensive lineman. Griffin Everett, the catcher, senior catcher from the baseball team. Omar Manning, senior wide receiver. Kendall Hoffmeister, redshirt junior bowler, a member of the national championship bowling team. Luke Reimer, junior linebacker, and Crystal Elliott, another bowler from the national championship bowling team. And then the star of the night is Tom Osborne, who was the head coach of the Big Red Nebraska football team in 94, 95, 97, when they won national championships, a record of 60-3 in his final 5 seasons coaching, and actually a elected member of the U.S. House of Representatives in the early 2000s. So I personally am incredibly excited to meet all of these people, but especially Tom Osborne. And it's going to be a great night after the game. All those student athletes are going to take some time and sign some autographs. They're going to be paired with some of our players around the concourse. And so our fans are going to get a chance to mingle with those athletes, get to spend some time with our guys. Tom Osborne's going to be there for a private event with our season ticket holders. So we're really excited about that. We're going to touch on that a little bit more after the break. You are listening to Outside the Box.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your Nebraska-owned premier John Deere dealership. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they're hiring for production operators at $21.72 an hour and other select jobs starting at $23.42 an hour, with wages growing up to $27.55 an hour. Continental also has salary jobs available with great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney, Nebraska, February 2nd and 3rd. Landmark Sprayer Clinic offers expansive equipment and technology training on different models of John Deere and Hagie sprayers. Learn about the newest technology, machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and more. We'll be offering free dicamba certification. Join us February 2nd and 3rd in Kearney. RSVP by calling your local Landmark location or at landmarkimp.com/events.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsrats.com. Bats Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Stars broadcaster Cristiano Simonetta on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Outside the Box. I am Rocky Russo. If you have a question, want to chat, give us a call on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. You can text us a question as well on the Starter Harmon text line, 402-464-5685. We're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets tonight. Yesterday was the BioSteel All-American game featuring current Lincoln star Gleb Vermayev. But for the 4-pack of tickets, text or call who was the MVP of the game, and hint, his hometown is Lincoln, Nebraska. Corey, what an interesting thought that young man's hometown is Lincoln, Nebraska. And any of our hardcore Lincoln Stars fans should be able to put a little bit of thought into that and figure out who that young man is. We will let you know after our next break who that is and who our winner is. So before we get into who our next guests are, I want to just go back a little bit more and talk about that crossover night, because we have got an unbelievable group of student athletes coming in. Obviously, Tom Osborne coming in. And I started to say before the break how excited I am as a coach. I was 12, 14, 15 years old when he was winning national championships here with the University of Nebraska. And I just loved the way he coached his team. I remember Tommy Frazier playing quarterback. I remember the fire that he had on the sidelines. And now he's a part of a group called Teammates, which is just giving back to the community and really helping develop. So was there a guy that you looked at when you were younger, Curtis, that just really impressed you, whether it was a player, whether it was a coach, that just grabbed your attention, kind of like a Tom Osborne did?
Yeah, I grew up in Saskatchewan, and I like.
Does anybody know where Saskatchewan is?
I'm like, everybody knows where Saskatchewan is, and then I get into the break, and I'm like, they don't know where Saskatchewan is.
No,
like it's north a long ways.
And then a little further.
And then once you think you're there, go further north. And it's actually pretty much north of Montana. So if you can find Montana.
You could get back right now? I mean, could you find your way back right now?
No, the borders are closed. I haven't been back in a couple of years, which is a whole nother challenge, right? not just for hockey, it shuts leagues down. Like some of the leagues are shut down yet from the border, but I digress. Because I grew up in Saskatchewan, there was a team that is probably very responsible for my love of the game. So about 3.5 hours away were the Edmonton Oilers. So the Edmonton Oilers came in the National Hockey League. They were expansion, 1979. Well, they had a guy you might have heard of, Wayne Gretzky. Oh yeah, and they had another guy you might have heard of, Mark Messier. Oh yeah, and Paul Coffey and Grant Fuhr and Andy Moog, and the list goes
Glenn
on
Anderson.
and on. It doesn't stop, right?
So I not to interrupt you, but I am currently reading Mark Messier's memoir, Nobody Wins Alone.
Yep.
And I know the story, just like you obviously know the story, but it's so awesome to see it through his eyes, right? And he's so honest in the book. I'm only about 100 pages in, but he talks about playing pro hockey at 17 in Cincinnati, and then obviously ending up in Edmonton as a first-year player. He has 10 points. Wayne Gretzky has 90, and just Paul Coffey gets drafted. And so you were obviously majorly impacted by that group of players and their experience as pro players.
Can you remember wallpaper? Like nobody uses wallpaper anymore. My room was wallpapered with Wayne Gretzky. Like that was a thing back in the 80s. My bedroom, everything, banners. And here's an interesting thing. Even though I ended up playing in the National Hockey League, I counted. I think I only ever went to 4 games in my life. 3 of them were in Edmonton. 1 of them was in Calgary. And if you like Edmonton, the hockey fans will know you hate Calgary. So the only reason you'd go to a Calgary game is to cheer against them. But we had free tickets. It was a youth event. I digress. The people that I looked up to were across that Edmonton Oilers organization. Glenn Sather, who, like, people think we have all these Hall of Famers, but think about from a coach's perspective, how do you manage that? Like, who do you, like, it takes a special group and a special coach. And then after that, here's where the story gets exciting. So Glenn Sather leaves and his assistant takes over, John Muckler. So for hockey fans, John Muckler comes into the picture. Well, I'll speed it up so I don't get emotional and talk just about my path. But my draft year, I got interviewed by a few teams, and I'll never forget going in to Buffalo's scouting room, and it's in a hotel. It's at the draft, and this guy walks up. It's John Muckler. Like, I don't think John Muckler is going to be there. I think it's going to be some scouts, some like third-rate assistants like myself, the lower level guys coming in. And I can't believe I held it together. Here's the epitome of excellence in the game of hockey coming at you, the coaches and whatnot. So my inspiration, Rocky, was watching how they conducted that orchestra. So great. And if Gretzky didn't get traded, my question is I wonder how many championships they could have won.
Well, they were still essentially intact at that point before the dominoes started falling when he got traded. But the interesting thing that I am taking away from this book to this point is the failures that team had for a couple of years, right? Their first playoff year, they struggled. Their second season, they had a really great season, and then they lose in the playoffs, and then things start to take off. So there's a learning curve that doesn't just happen over the course of months; it happens over the course of years. And so I think that's an excellent book to read. Obviously, an excellent story. We've got a couple of guests here who are living right now the junior hockey experience. Please welcome to Outside the Box forward Griffin Jarecki and goaltender Caden Mberico. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Awesome to be here. Yeah, appreciate it.
Guys, I appreciate you coming in. I know it's past your bedtime there, Caden, because you're a guy that likes to get his rest and is prepared. And I'm sure that Tony's probably running laps or whatever Tony does at home, Griff. So you had to leave him, but we appreciate you guys coming in. I usually pick the guys that come into the show every week, or Cristiano comes and kind of gives me his ideas, and then we make a decision. This week's decision was very easy for me. Griff, you had an unbelievable weekend. An incredible response after a tough weekend for our group the weekend before. You had 2 huge goals for us on Saturday. Caden, you were away from us before Christmas with the World Junior experience. You come back. Whitey has a shutout on Friday. You come in on Saturday. You shut the door for us again. So it was a really easy decision for us to have you both in. So congratulations on a great weekend. I want to start with Caden. Caden, this is actually your 3rd year of junior hockey, and you played your first 2 years with the national team development program, and then joined us here in Lincoln. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to be selected for that team and to go into junior hockey at such a young age.
Well, first and foremost, it was a huge honor because it wasn't like a one-time thing. I got to represent USA every day for 2 years, and couldn't have been more happy or more grateful for the opportunity, and kind of just got to represent myself and my family and kind of everybody else, that's proud to be an American. And just in terms of going in as a young player and a young goaltender, it was a really long process, but a great process and a great experience to go through at such a young age, because you get to learn what it's really like to be a pro. And we're really fortunate to have all the tools we were able to have, and coaches, resources, and everything. And I think that was probably the biggest thing, in just learning how to balance your time on the ice and off the ice, because you obviously needed the time to develop on the ice, but the biggest thing for me was mentally learning how to get through those games where you lose 7-2 or you have shutouts. So and especially in the gym too, is somewhere where I had to really learn how to improve on and maximize my I guess athleticism and just overall game. So like I said, I was really fortunate to have that experience, and just want to keep improving from now on.
So Corey, Doc, little side note here. The national team had never lost a game at the North American Hockey League Showcase until Caden's national team happened to run into Coach Russo's Amarillo Bulls. And the streak got snapped that night.
What was the score?
I think it was 4 or 5-1.
Wow.
But Caden wasn't playing that night. So
that answers part of the question.
It might have been worse. Might have been better. I don't know. But the Bulls were on a rampage that night. We weren't losing that game. And it was funny because Caden and I chatted about that at the beginning of the year. So thank you for that, Caden. Griffin, you are in your 2nd year here in Lincoln. Obviously, last year a tough year with COVID. You guys didn't even get to go home for Christmas. You kind of struggle through, as most rookies do, a tough year. And now you're back. You play a bigger role. You've really started to find the back of the net a little bit. Tell us what it's been like as far as your development or your developmental process goes, and how much more comfortable you are now as a 2nd-year player.
Yeah, obviously the first year was tough, a lot of obstacles, but I had a lot of support around me, which really helped me get through that year and develop as a person and player. And then obviously this year you come in, you're confident, you played with a lot of good players last year that moved on and played at the next level, and you competed with them every day, and you bring that confidence into this year and just build on it every day and try to be consistent, and eventually good things come. So you just try to work every day, and eventually things start to go your way.
So Griff, you grew up playing, was it the Oakland Junior Grizzlies?
Caesars. I was
Caesars.
a Caesar boy.
You were a
my whole
seniors
life.
boy.
That was like those are swear words.
Yeah.
A good thing you guys are separated. I saw him; he was going to come over the desk. Outside of the ring, it's all fair game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fine. I'm ready. I worked out this morning at 5:30.
Well, then you're exhausted.
I am so tired. I finally decided I got to get back on the horse. Right?
Yeah.
I am exhausted.
He doesn't want any part of you, Griff.
Nothing.
He'll be the first and the last guy in the training room tomorrow, too.
I will. I'm going to be sore. Caden, you are originally, please correct me if I'm wrong, you're originally from Colorado, and your family moved to Detroit to play for, I don't know, Honey Baked?
Bell Tire.
Bell Tire.
Yep.
I just decided to pick one of those teams because I'm trying to pick a fight with these guys. People that don't know hockey have no idea what it's like.
Remember fighting words.
Victory Honda, Little Caesars, Bell
No.
Tire, Oakland.
You can't. No, stop. Right now, they're punching their couch listening. Does this guy not know?
What
He's
was
trying
it
to get
like?
under their skin.
What was it like, Caden? Obviously, your family makes the huge decision to move to the Detroit area to kind of play, and that'll feed into the question that we asked a little bit earlier about who the MVP of that game was yesterday. We'll talk about that after the next break. But tell us a little bit about that experience moving away and joining a new club and the commitment that your family chose to make to help you further your career.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be more grateful for the opportunity and all the sacrifices that they've done just to help me, I guess, get to where I'm at right now. And I mean, the transition wasn't too bad because before I moved to Michigan, we moved out to Seattle for my brother actually to play hockey over there, AAA. So by the time it was time for me to move over to Michigan, it was kind of a smooth transition and kind of knew what to expect in terms of living in a new area and going to a new school and meeting new people. And I mean, I think I was around 12 or 11. So, I mean, going to a new school, usually you don't know what to expect in terms of the kids and how you're just going to like the area. But right away, I kind of just knew it was a place for me. And I couldn't have been, I guess, yeah, actually, it was a really good experience in terms of going out and playing hockey over in Michigan and having the new teammates. And actually, a couple of my teammates from my Colorado team moved out to Michigan too, and they're doing pretty well for themselves now. And Dylan Duke and Sasha Pastajov, and
yeah, those guys are okay.
yeah, they're doing all right. But yeah, so I kind of already knew Dylan and growing up in Aspen, and even though he's from Ohio, but he played on our travel team for quite a bit. And just with the new team, it was good to meet some of the Michiganders that joined the team, and then having some familiar faces. So just I think that was a necessary change and a necessary move just for me to kind of just further out my game and play really good competition, playing at the highest level, and playing like Little Caesars and all those guys in Griffin.
Speaking of Little Caesars, I mean, Little Caesars is literally one of the premier programs for 50 years, and it goes back to Mike Madonna playing youth hockey. So we're going to get into it a little bit with Griff and what it's like to represent a program like the Little Caesars AAA program when we come back from our break. You are listening to Outside the Box.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
What does better service mean? At Allo, it means that you get the best fiber internet available at prices that work for you. Better service means installers who show up on time. Better service means no billing shenanigans. Better service means a real person answers the phone. If you're not paying for better service, what are you paying for? Get Allo. Get better service. Switch today at allofiber.com/better service.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts. More celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah, 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Sponsored by SAMHSA and Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Outside the Box with Rocky Russo and Cristiano Simonetta on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know?
Welcome back to Outside the Box. I am Rocky Russo. I had to have a whole list of folks join me to help cover for Cristiano not being here tonight. We've got Corey Courtney. We've got Curtis Doc Brown. We've got Caden Emberko. We've got Griffin Jarecki. We have a winner for the 4-pack of tickets. The question was, Lincoln-born, who was the MVP of yesterday's BioSteel All-American game? The winner of the 4-pack of tickets is Paul Pasco. The answer, Rutger McGroarty. And Rutger was born here when his dad, Jim McGroarty, was the general manager of the Lincoln Stars. And ironically enough, Corey, you were a very valued member of that staff as well.
Yes, that was a while ago. My daughter's actually a very good friend. I give Rutger a hard time. I think his sister was still a better athlete. Molly was an unbelievable gymnast. But, yeah, Rutger blossomed. He grew like 3 feet in a week, too, I think, last time I saw him.
He is a special hockey player. He's
really
going to be very highly drafted in this year's National Hockey League draft. Speaking of the draft, we've got a guy here sitting in the room that is listed in the midterm central scouting list, Mr. Caden Emberko. So I wanted to chat very quickly with Griff on what it was like representing such a prestigious organization like the Little Caesars AAA program. Obviously, names like Mike Madonna have gone through that program. So tell us what it was like to play there growing up.
Yeah, first off, don't let Berkey fool you. He put on the orange and blue a couple of years. He went to Caesars after a while.
Sounds like he's Bell Tire through and through, though.
I don't know what that answer came from.
Unique coloring that team has. That's unique.
Yes. Yeah.
He got a better offer. Right? What did you pizza? How old
Pizza
were you
or
when
tires?
you went there?
His parents wanted some tires.
You didn't need tires. You needed somebody to get you around. You needed pizza. That's fuel.
Yes, but his parents needed the tires, driving him all over the country. So
Well, he got all the right stops.
Yeah, but no, obviously like Caesars, it's a great organization. It gives you a lot of opportunity to play in like all the biggest tournaments, have the true youth experience. Like obviously you go to like the brick tournament when you're young. Before like I don't even know if my parents knew what they were getting into, and that was the first like
They didn't.
Like hello.
I'll answer that for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Going back, I don't even know why they signed me up for that tournament. It just seems ridiculous at this point. But like, obviously, like you're young, you love it, and it's hard to say no, right? So, you go through all those tournaments, all those cool experiences, and then your parents become part of it. They become friends with all the other families. It's really like a big thing. Like all my parents' best friends are hockey people. So it's like it's a small world, and I never left Caesars. Obviously, my parents weren't big into the whole politics of hockey. I picked the team and I stayed there, went up through the ups and downs, won a lot, lost some. So it was just a good experience.
We've also got something cool going on in the room here. When I was growing up and into college, a massive rivalry in college hockey was the University of Denver and Colorado College. Like massive rivalry. And so, Caden, you are a commit to Colorado College. Griff, you are a commit to Denver University. And Garrett Brown, Doc's son, is a commit to Denver University. So how cool is it that you guys grew up playing against each other in Detroit, playing junior hockey together in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you're going to go to school pretty close and probably play against each other a number of times in your college career?
Yeah, I mean, like what Griff just said, it's a small world in the hockey world, and I'd be really fortunate to have been playing with them and then playing against them and then seeing him grow as a player and as a person. So I'm just excited to see what he has in the future at Denver, and hopefully,
as long as they don't beat you guys.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I was going to say, don't let that soft-spokenness, that humble talk, fool anyone. It's like I want him to have a great career and never score against me. Is what he was meaning. Let me translate that. Right?
There's not many guys that are more competitive than Caden. As soft-spoken as he is,
yeah, he
was in there
to do with
flinging his stick around last week. He was so mad when he lost Art's little scoring game last week. I hear these things. You don't think I know this? I know. So, Doc, you had a couple questions in the break. You said you had a question for Caden.
I have some really important questions.
Well, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes. So you better fire away.
Well, first of all, you went from Colorado to Seattle and then Detroit. Who's your favorite NHL team?
The Avalanche.
Okay.
I was stuck with the Avalanche since day one. And it warms my heart to see them actually winning this year and in the past couple of years and having a real chance to win a cup. So yeah,
that's hard though, right? Like Seattle just came, so it's easy, not to be a fan of theirs unless you're from Seattle,
for sure.
With their record and they're new, it's not like they're lighting things up. Like,
well, they didn't get the Vegas Golden Knight treatment, right?
Yeah.
So I suspect Griff is a Detroit Red Wing fan.
Yeah,
turn the mic off. Turn his mic right off. There, that's all we need to hear. We don't care about listening to Detroit fans and anything more about.
No, I'm
Detroit.
a Penguins fan. I don't care about the Red Wings.
We got the big mics on now. I don't want to fail to ask you a question, and it's a coaching question.
Okay.
So you have Coach Osborne coming.
Yes.
You're going to get to meet him. What do you ask him that you can take into your coaching, maybe in a once in a lifetime type of situation, of somebody that you looked up to that you can apply now to your coaching?
Wonderful question. My biggest excitement that I have in regards to the conversation I have with him is I want to know, and it's a broad-based question, but I want to know, what he did to establish trust and relationship with his players. What was the one thing, if he could give me one thing that he said helped him best build culture in his locker rooms, what was that? And my hopes are that he can give me just one little tidbit of information that helps me make our players better.
Well, then, and you can share that with me.
We will certainly talk about that. We are about to wrap up tonight. I want to thank our guests, Corey Courtney, Doc Brown, Caden Imberko, Griffin Jarecki. Ethan, I just found out you're going to be leaving us and you're going to go cover a big rival in Waterloo. I hope you never win a game against the Lincoln Stars, but I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us. You have been listening to Outside the Box. I am Rocky Russo. Have a great night.